Live. Welcome to my thoughts on The Bear, Season 4, Episode 8, Green. So, there will be spoilers for the episode, as well as all the ones leading up to it. The show, rated TVMA, so this video be. They kept hinting that we were going to get more Jamie Lee Curtis, and then she never showed up. 0 out of 10. This show and I are done professionally. I'm just kidding. Another episode I absolutely loved. There wasn't really room for Jamie Lee Curtis in this. Hopefully we'll get her next episode, but yeah. It was really great what we got in the episode before this one. That helps tide me over. So yeah, the opening with... Yeah, I mean, it's a very Legion reminiscent episode, or maybe it's just that Legion's on my brain, because were we like a month out from Alien Earth? I can hardly wait. Looks amazing. Same showrunner, in case you were wondering, as Legion. Anyway, yeah, very, very impressive with just, Ayo Edebiri just acting her heart out, auditioning for the next Jordan Peele thing, I think. And the way they gradually build the intensity, because, like, you know, immediately we can tell, okay, there's something off. You know, this is very, you know, just, yeah. And apparently it's a really good parody. I haven't watched the things that it's parodying. I might have seen, like, clips, but, you know, I don't really watch cooking shows. Not my vibe. Nothing wrong with it, just not my kind of thing. But yeah. At first she seems like slightly reluctant, but somewhat into it, and then she starts saying like, well, I mean, you're just a complete failure if you can't do this, and I don't think this is gonna work, you know, these various, like, clearly it's her anxieties, you know, and the way that, like, they're at the start, there's just like one little drip from the ceiling, and she tries to ignore it. And then another, and then another. And suddenly, it's like the Truman Show personal rain cloud shit. And, you know, just, yeah. I thought she did a fantastic job. Just slowly, like, because there's some tension there at the start. But it gets to, like, a boiling point, and then it fucking explodes there near the end. You know, meanwhile, right outside, you know, 28 years later is happening. And, you know, there's, like, yeah, all the water. Ted Cruz goes on fucking vacation. Goddamn coward. And you know, Trump fired a bunch of people that, or the administration, I guess it might be Doge, fired a bunch of people that could have helped mitigate the entire thing. And, yeah, doesn't, you know, they don't give a fuck about human lives, clearly. You know, like, they care about a living human being that's American who has a pulse, insofar as, are they gonna vote for us? And I was talking about taking away the fucking citizenship of Rosie O'Donnell, because he just, there is no, like, limit to how much he'll go bottom of the barrel. Anyway, yeah, it was a really effective opening. I thought they did a phenomenal job on it. The chaos was really nicely done, and, you know, she runs, and, like, the door, you know, suddenly we're in fucking Silent Hill. Absolutely here for it. I thought it was very sweet when she and her dad, you know, the thing about, okay, so this is for this, and that is for that, and you gotta drink more water, you know, which is, yeah, it's very healthy to drink a good amount of water, you know. And he's like, so what about you? What are you dealing with, you know? And the conversation with Shapiro, where, like, you can tell, you know, once she, like, she really, like, front loads this conversation with a lot of I'm sorry and thank you so much, you know. And he can tell, I'm not gonna like the next thing you say, am I? And, you know, there's a part where, you know, she's explained all this stuff, and we see his reaction. He's, like, practically punching the wall, and he's not really saying anything, and she's like, I'm sorry, can you hear me? it's so wonderfully, because it's like, it's awkward and it's funny and it's like kind of sad because like, yeah, really nicely done. And yeah, by the end he says, I'm not the one you should be apologizing to. You're right there on the Titanic, and I'm trying to, there. I feel like there's room enough, and she has to explain. Yes, but buoyancy though. Is that vague enough that people who hadn't watched that movie are not going to get it? I hope so. I'm not trying to spoil that movie. I maintain there's a lot to love about it. Anyway, yeah, I thought they did a good job. Like, he becomes a little bit of an asshole there at the end, but he's not, like, completely ridiculously, like, he's not, like, shouting at her or saying things that are, like, yeah, he's being abrasive and harsh, but not, yeah. So I thought they did a good job. It's not like he's like an antagonist, but there has been some drama on account of his character. I really love when they're able to do this, where we actually understand both sides. Like, I do feel a little bad for him. More before he, like, snapped at her like that, but yeah, I mean, he's trying to be, you know, he does think this is better for her, and yeah. Um, but yeah, I quite appreciate it. I think they did a good job on that. I think, like, maybe we don't need that many, like, one note antagonist characters anymore. I'm not saying never. I just watched 2025 Superman. I thought Lex Luthor was fucking amazing there, so I'm not saying never. He was wonderfully hateable. But yeah, they could easily have made Shapiro way more, like, intensely awful there. I mean, he's nowhere near as much of an asshole as, you know, Joel McHale, including on this show. Um, I think that might pretty well get us to, let's see. Yeah, the thing with, so sweet, Sugar and Pete, and, yeah, at first it's just like sweet, and then I feel like that moan is implying something more, and then the baby's crying, and that's, I hear that is a thing for, like, parents of young children, um, and yeah, they rock paper scissors. Before dawn, she is your daughter. And yeah, they end up, with the baby lying in between, Sophie lying in between them, and Sophie's like grabbing the finger, and they're like, can we just stay like this forever? Just really, really sweet. And it's considering how, like, Pete is sweet so much of the time, so it's fun to see him, like, go along with it. I mean, they're obviously teasing. They don't actually mean that they're gonna, like, fuck up Sophie's head with how awful they are to her, but it was fun seeing him play along. And yeah, like, the just several characters have a very playful nature in this. I also really love that with Claire and Carm near the end. I'll talk more about that, but I think let's see if I can keep to this chronological thing. It's going okay so far in this video. I think, yeah, great, Luca and Tina talking, great scene, and yeah, this thing of, like, well, I don't think I'm the right person to ask. I guess I'm kind of addicted to the mess, so yeah. And yeah, I really loved him saying, well, if you can't, you can't. That's such a, I hope a lot of people watch this episode and really take that to heart, because look, I'm sorry, but sometimes you go through something and it's just like, this is not, I cannot do this. And if it is a situation where there are other options, try for one of the other options. It can be painful, sometimes when the rest of your life starts with goodbye, but sometimes it is for the better. And I guess that brings us to yeah, I think there might be some stuff in between, but Luca and Marcus was also great, and the thing with the dessert, which does also like fuck, that sounds amazing. Uh, are they building up to like at we know there's gonna be a fifth season. Are they at some point gonna like make an actual restaurant where you can buy everything you've seen on this show? I guess it's possible that there are some where that's already the case, but it's just god damn, the show makes you hungry. Um, I think that pretty well. Yeah, the thing about Marcus, he didn't go in, and do you think that's fucked up? Did you want to go in? No, then I don't think it's fucked up. And yeah, again, like I'm sorry, sometimes you gotta set boundaries, and yeah, like a lot of young people today are realizing they just can't have a healthy relationship with their parents, so they go no contact, and it can be it it's not pleasant for anyone involved, but sometimes it is necessary. um I want to say it was Savvy Writes Books did an excellent review talking about um there's this book written by one of these parents who and the parent was just blaming the kid and saying, why did you do this to me? This hurts me and only me. And yeah, it's great that we're getting proper analysis of because it's so fucked up. I think that does bring us. Yeah, so yeah, through the episode, there's the thing about that something about a photo. I don't know. What she said photo. Yes, I know what she said. I don't know what she meant. And oh no, I know. Yeah, it's I know where it is. Can you get it? Like I just you wanted me to. You wanted when? Yesterday. And Sid's like, oh, I'll keep. I can take care of this. Just like. Is she like being a little petty and trying to get back at Carmi because he has treated her badly sometimes. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it, but no, I think it is. She does realize it would be healthy for him to, you know, to talk to her again, and that is also, I mean, the fact that she keeps busting Sugar's ass about it. Yeah, she wants Carmi to, I think the photos. Well, let's see. It's not that they're like an excuse. She does want to see them, but the fact that it's Carmi, like, hypothetically, if she heard, oh, there's a storage area where, Michael kept some stuff, including photos, she'd go there, but she wouldn't make it as much of a priority. But she does want to see Carmi again, like, yeah. I mean, yeah, she was technically the let's see, Sid came and dragged Carmi away. I think Donna would have liked to keep talking, there, and I think as long as it's just the two of them, it'll go better. It was in part this thing of like there's everyone's there, all these family members, and he wasn't even sure he wanted to go. He's there because it fucks up Richie, basically. I'm joking, obviously. He was clearly glad to, be there. I think that might bring us. What was the next scene? So there's obviously the Claire stuff. Is that really all that stuff? Right. The thing with Neil. No, you're floating. Yes, no. As he's walking back and forth, that was pretty funny. God, he has the patience of a fucking saint. I would not be okay if people were hassling me over the way I fucking walk. Jesus Christ. Nobody's done that to me since I turned like 18 or something. Jesus. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I move in a slightly awkward way. I don't think it's as big a deal as, the teenagers I knew when I was a teenager made out of it. yeah, teenagers can be the fucking worst. I have a lot of empathy for them. I'm not saying, you know, but just, yeah, sometimes, yeah. And sometimes I was a shitty teenager myself. I am including myself when I say teenagers can be terrible. I am including my own teenage self. I think that fucks. I think that fucks. Where does that get us? Because we have the so yeah, obviously Claire. There's the Claire call left. Did I say everything about Neil? I thought it was great with him talking to Richie. And the thing about can we have the room? Oh yeah, sure, sure. And then fucking Ted, like, you need me? Absolutely not. Like, Jesus Christ, Ted. I'd say read the room, but like Richie literally couldn't have made it clearer. Like, Jesus Christ, dude. God, I fucking love this show and these characters. But yeah, the conversation and this thing of like, yeah, Neil feels like, he doesn't really belong there. Which, yeah, feels true to his character, and this is something that's been building. Eventually he had to say it. And yeah, Richie pointing out, this is your house, they're guests, they're intimidated. It's our job to make them more comfortable. That's such a great way to view it. And yeah, it's really fucking funny seeing, I believe his name is Maddie Matheson, who plays Neil, say, I just don't think I belong here. This is too fancy for me, because in real life, he is a fucking chef at, like, one of these places. Originally, he was just supposed to be, like, and he is, but originally he was only, quote unquote, only supposed to be a consultant on this, and they were like, we got to get this guy on camera, and now he's in a ton of episodes, and it's wonderful. But yeah, I think it's in part because he doesn't look like what we would think of as a chef. Like, I don't think it's an accident. Like, is there a single chef on the show so far that isn't, like, of average size? Like, none of them are, like, particularly overweight. It's not that none of them have tattoos. I guess, is that why Carmi has tattoos? Because Maddie has them? I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, now I remember. Yes, I fucking loved. Yeah, I know I've said it before. Jessica's so fucking awesome. Jessica and Richie together, great. And this stuff, I mean, there are productions where they would have, like, shot second unit someone's hands, and they would have they would have grabbed an actual, someone who knows this shit and does it every day, and for the napkin folding, but it wouldn't have the same effect. So yeah, the actress playing Jessica had to learn to fold napkins extremely fast, so that it would be credible when she says the fastest, and it has an effect because, like, you notice, oh yeah, wow, Richie is really not folding. Like, there's chunks of the conversation where he's barely folding any at all, and it underlines, yeah, she is calm, she's at peace. He isn't. Very nicely done. The show, like, so much of the show is, like, there's people who are calm, and then there's people who are chaotic. And, yeah, like, you gotta think of different ways to show that, or it's gonna be like, okay, we get it, But, yeah, the start of the episode, Sid had a nightmare with, like, yeah. So just, yeah, wonderfully done. But yeah, the entire conversation and the thing about, Michael and, were you glad when Carmi came back? And he doesn't answer right away, and then later, and I loved when she's just like, Richie, what are you trying to say? What are you even asking me? What's the spork? What are we doing here? Come on, just out with it. My God. And yeah, he's like, did I overshare? Was that TMI? And, she's like, well, it was TNT, but it wasn't TMI. I asked, yeah, I'm a big believer in, if you know someone well enough that okay, if you ask that, they're going to give an honest answer, then don't ask if you don't want an honest answer. Like, I appreciate sometimes you'll get an overly honest answer from someone, and you didn't expect that at all. It wouldn't have made sense for you to expect that. I'm not talking about those situations. But yeah, I love how she's such a grounding presence, And the thing about, was I too honest? And she's like, honesty is sanity. So wise. Like that's a fucking moment of zen right there. God damn. Anybody else been watching shit, what's it called again? The Tao of Lloyd? Yeah, did not I was super fucking surprised when he even came back. Oh, fuck. I am I seriously not remembering his name? I think his name was is his real name is Dennis Trainer, and now he's changed the channel, Marge, and it just fucking works. Like at first, I was like, what is this? At the very start, when the first thing he put up was like a trailer, and I was like, I'm subscribed to a channel that has this, and then I realized, because I think he did say at the very very early in the first episode, yeah, this is Danny's trainer, changing the how this is, yeah, been following for 15 years or something. Really glad he's still doing shit. Absolutely loving it. Just yeah. Okay. When I said shit just now, I'm not meaning like descriptive. I'm just, it's just like I'm glad he's still doing stuff because I fucking love it. I've loved most of what I've seen by him. Anyway, I think that does bring us to yeah. Are they gonna do like a romance between Jessica and Richie? Because I could see that working. They have chemistry, and the little look that she has after, But there's the thing about, the tie. Oh, I missed a spot. May I? Very nicely. Yeah, he's asking for consent. You shouldn't touch another person without consent like that. And yeah, she clearly gives consent, and he fixes the tie, and yeah, there's a little moment there, and he walks off slightly frazzled and befuddled, but the little smile she had, she's like, oh, that was a little awkward, but it wasn't, she does not seem like someone who fucking hated, him touching her or something. I'm not making light of that. That's fucked up. You shouldn't, again, don't touch someone without consent, and consent can be withdrawn at any moment, and you have to respect that. It's the ethical way to behave around other people. Yeah, I don't know. I could absolutely dig that. Cause he fucking needs someone to. I mean, it doesn't have to be a romantic partner, but he needs someone to like bring him back down and calm him down. Yeah, it was also great the thing about what was it like? We're gonna raise fucking hell. Happy Thursday, or Happy Tuesday. And I just want Carmi to say, it's Wednesday. Right, the tasting. I feel bad for Sweeps. He tried, he got a bunch of it right. I mean, he was only off by 5 years, and they keep mentioning Skittles, and it's like, Jesus Christ, because that's their, like, they eat more Skittles than wine, which is fair enough. You shouldn't eat wine. You should try to drink it if you're gonna ingest it at all. I think that might. If it's gotten to a point where you have to like use your teeth to consume it, I don't think the wine is good anymore. I feel like, is there anything? I think that brings us to Claire. I may have already said I kind of want like a spin-off that's about her, because just she's so fucking awesome. Just I really really dig her character. I gotta see the actress in something else as well. I heard about this thing, but I forget the title. Yeah. Anyway, she's got an IMDb page. I can find other stuff. Yeah. Anyway. Right. Yeah. Okay. So before I talk more, Claire. Yeah. The bit with Shapiro on the phone. Like I said, he could have gone way harder. He could have brought up, you were this close to being in Thunderbolts. But the yeah. So Claire. It's like he kind of needs a lifeline. He's still a little intimidated by Donna and the idea of talking to her. So he sits there in the car, calls her, and yo. I'm so glad they're back. I'm sorry. I appreciate we needed the drama, but I fucking love them playful and sweet together. It's just so great. Just yo. So I'm at the something Sweet, I'll be right down. Because, like, obviously, it's not that, she realizes that there's something he's building up to saying, but it does sound a little like he's saying, I'm in the car right out front. Come on down. It's Friday night. We're gonna have some fun. But it's just, yeah. And yeah, at first she's very playful about talking about Donna, and then later he's about to call back, and then she calls back, and it's this thing of like, I just want you to know, I think it's very brave. It's healthy, and it's just, yeah, she's so sweet, and it is this thing like I've been there, I have been in a situation where someone was saying something, and I was being kind of teasing, and I was like, okay, I mean, I want to encourage them though. I want to. This is good. This is healthy, I think that might just about cover. Let's see. Yeah, I like the thing about the what was it? There was when was it that she grilled pizza and it's like, oh, I think was it a yeah, they mentioned several names, and he's like, oh, it was that one. You remember that, huh? Mm-hmm. She almost burned the house down, and I lost my favorite green sweater. What's it look like? A sweater that's green. See, I appreciate it can't always be Sid who gets the best fucking line of the episode. This time it was Claire. That's a really funny line. I just, yeah. Um and this thing of like, I think you're wonderful. Then find my sweater. I fucking love this. Just, God, they're so sweet together. Just, yeah. Because, like, I mean, she appreciates it. She doesn't go like fuck you or something, and she'll take the compliment and such. But it's like, he still really, really fucked up, really fucked her over before. So, like, he's not 100% out of the doghouse. It's one of those things, like, how long you're in the doghouse depends on the dog.